What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing these shoes. They are the Reebok Nano 8s. Okay, so I want to show you the shoes that I've been wearing for the last 2 years to explain why I bought these. I'd say for probably about 4 years I have been a die-hard Nike Free Run user. And clearly I have been, because you can see how disgusting these are. These are 2.5 years old, I want to say, maybe more, but the tread is just like disgusting. And yeah, I've definitely got my money's worth from these guys, but I had to retire them. And I thought that a perfect time to do that would be when Ebates was having a sale or like a thing for their birthday. Ebates was having a 15% cash back sale at Reebok, so I was like, I'm gonna buy these puppies. I've wanted these for so long. I've wanted these for a while, just because I've been curious. I do CrossFit, and these are CrossFit shoes. For those of you who don't know, they're CrossFit Nanos, not just Nanos, but they are specifically designed for CrossFit workouts. I've wanted to try them for a while, but they're a little too pricey for me, and so I waited until the stars aligned, and they just so happened to do so a couple weeks ago. Okay, so on to the shoe review. So I've had these for a couple weeks, and I can honestly say, long story short, I love them. So let me break down a couple of the exercises that I've done in them to show you what I like, and then some of the things that I don't like doing in them. I really enjoyed using these for most things. I did, let's see, what have I done? I've done deadlifts in them, and I really like it because they have like a little bit of a weight at the end. So for those of you who don't know, when you're doing powerlifting or when you're doing Olympic lifting, typically you have like a raised heel, and the back is a little heavier than the front of the shoe. And that really helps for things like squats, deadlifts, for landing or catching a snatch or a clean, and even sometimes for going down into a jerk. It just all depends. But what I did was some powerlifting, and I just wanted to try out what it felt like to have this weight at the end. And so I really liked that for doing things like deadlifts. I did some push presses. Let's see, what else did I do? I did some bent over rows, just things where like you're constantly, like without even thinking about it, the weight of your body is like moving forward and back on your feet. I think that having a little bit of extra weight in the back is good. That being said, something like a Nike Metcon also has a heavier heel, but it's a lot heavier than these guys, and that's exactly what I don't like about those shoes. And so what I appreciated about these shoes is that while they had that weight in the heel, I was still able to do things like box jumps. I was able to do things like lunges, and some plyometric work that I can't do, like not box jumps, wall balls. Thank you to whoever it was that told me that, to my brain. Thanks, brain. But yeah, I was able to do stuff like wall balls and box jumps fairly easily because these were still light, even though they had a little bit more of a heel. Also tried to walk at an incline, and I didn't like that, but I could see where it would be okay if I wasn't walking for that long. I tried running at like a slower-ish pace, so kind of more of a jog. And again, that was fine, but I definitely would not go out and run 3 miles in these. I don't even know that I could run a mile in these. And again, I don't know if that's just because they were really stiff because they're new, or if it's because there's a lot of structure in them, so that you can do weightlifting things. But with the structure comes, it makes it a lot more difficult to do running. I also tried to sprint in these, and sprinting was actually not too bad. I could definitely see if I'm doing a WOD, which is workout of the day, doing a WOD where I have to sprint 200 meters or even 400 meters, I could definitely do that in these. But again, these are not running shoes, so I highly would recommend getting a different pair of shoes if all you're doing is cardio. I was in my school gym, and I was able to do some Olympic lifting, so I did a snatch, and in the snatch it was great. I could definitely see if I'm doing lighter weights. There's a dog. What was I talking about? I totally forgot. Oh, snatches. Thank you. So I could definitely see where if I was doing like lighter weight snatches in a WOD, or even if I was doing like some technique work, these would be completely fine. Same thing with clean and jerks. I did some clean and jerks, and I really, I think that these would be okay with that as well. Then I did some gymnastic work, and I will say that I'm currently working on my gymnastic work, so that's why it probably doesn't look that great. But I did some toe to bars, and these were light enough for me to do that in. I didn't really have an issue. I did some pull-ups, and that was fine too. And then I did some handstands, and I didn't really expect for me to have an issue like one way or the other with these shoes if I was doing stuff like that, because I'm not really like using my feet. But again, if you're wearing really heavy shoes that have like a lot of stability in the heel, or that are like traditional Olympic lifting shoes that have like an actual lift, you definitely can't do gymnastics in those types of shoes. So it was nice that I could weight lift in these, but I could also do gymnastics. Well, I would say these are great for everything except for steady state cardio. So I definitely will still be using Nikes and my Adidas shoes to do my long runs and like going hiking and things like that. However, my favorite workouts to do are CrossFit workouts, and so I think that these were a really good investment for me, because I do that type of workout a lot. Speaking of investment, I did get a little bit of a discount on these on top of the Ebates, and so these were originally $130, which is quite pricey if you ask me, and that's exactly why I haven't bought them as of yet. But like I said, I got 15% cash back, so I saved a little bit of money, and I also got another like coupon code thing. I think it was for either Mother's Day, or it was because I never bought anything from Reebok.com. So I got an additional 20% off. And so that made it, they were under $100 for sure. I can't remember the exact price, but compared to other shoes, I know Nike Metcons are just as expensive. I know that Adidas shoes that are supposed to be, you know, for CrossFit style workouts are a little bit cheaper, but I have tried those and I didn't like them as much as I liked these. I have, and I'll bring out my stinky shoes again. Before I got the CrossFit Nanos, I used these pretty much exclusively for my CrossFit WODs. And you guys can see in my Instagram, I'm most of the time wearing these shoes. I'm gonna have to wash my hands now because I realize I'm touching the bottom of them, and that's really gross. But anyways, that's not the point. These are not good to do CrossFit workouts in. Like, you can do them if you're not like a serious CrossFitter, but I've made it kind of like a low-key goal of mine by the Open 2019 to be able to do all the workouts at RX, which is like not having to modify anything. So I'm getting a lot more serious about my CrossFit workouts. That said, these don't cut it. I would say if you're going to do high intensity interval training that involves some weightlifting, in my mind, these are really, really, really good choice. Is a good choice. Okay, if you like this kind of video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want me to talk about any of the other shoes that I currently use, I am happy to make a video about that. If you want me to talk about a particular shoe for a particular type of exercise, please just comment down below and let me know, and I'll definitely make a video on that. All right, that's all I have for you today. Have a wonderful day and week, and I will see you next Wednesday.